Good morning, or good evening, everybody. This is the Planning Commission regular meeting of February 12th, 2025. I will call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. A roll call, please.
Commissioner Cooley?
Here.
Commissioner Copeland? Here. Commissioner Cueva? Vice Chair Smith?
Here.
Chairman Southard?
Here. All right. A request of any excused absences?
No, sir.
Okay. We'll stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. And Commissioner Goldburn, would you lead us in the pledge? All right. Are any adjustments to the agenda?
No adjustments.
Okay. And any conflict of interest disclosures for tonight? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to public comment period. This meeting will be open to the public and conducted in a virtual format to be inclusive of all participation preferences. Public comment participation is encouraged by emailing any comments to the State Clerk's office or by calling in using the phone number provided on the front of the agenda. Do we have any public comment or items not on the agenda?
I have no written comments. Mia, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers.
Okay, well, that'll take us to item C. This will be action items, public hearings, and requests. This is approval of all ordinances and resolutions to be read by title only. Approval of minutes. Can I ask for a motion for the approval of the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes. Second.
All right, can we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Cooley?
Yes.
Commissioner Copeland?
Yes.
Vice Chair Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Southard?
Yes. Okay, that takes us to item C2. This is Plan 2025-0180, proposed parking suspension extension temporarily terminating off-street parking requirements for existing non-residential structures in the downtown district as identified in the downtown district's map. Can we get a staff report, please?
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. Carol Kendrick, Community Development Staff, presenting Plan 2025-0180, which is requesting an 18-month parking suspension in the downtown for existing non-residential structures in the downtown as identified in Exhibit B of the packet. A little background: in 2023, the City Council approved Plan 2023-1001 that provided an 18-month suspension of parking requirements within the criteria previously mentioned. The current ordinance is attached to the staff report as Attachment D, and the current ordinance will expire on April 19th of 2025. The current parking code does not take into account the constraints of the downtown properties and continues to provide obstacles to revitalizing the downtown. And the city has several plans to help address parking that include the Economic Development Strategic Plan that was done in 2018, our general plan that was completed in January of 2021, a parking management plan completed in 2021, the City Council Strategic Plan in 2023, and the Downtown Revitalization Plan that was approved last year. The Downtown Revitalization Plan does include recommendations to address parking, but they're all long-term or mid-term solutions. So we are requesting that we extend this suspension. Staff is currently in the process of a comprehensive zoning code update, which will be before you tomorrow night. With that zoning code update, we'll have the potential to address parking requirements for existing non-residential structures in the subject area. So that might be a solution. That's anticipated to be completed by summer of this year, but putting that 18 months in just gives us wiggle room in case, those parking requirements aren't added in there, or, the council wants to go in a different direction. So we just want to make sure that we are reducing obstacles to revitalize the downtown area. No comments were received by staff, and the proof of publication is attachment E in your package. The Planning Commission authority is provided through the Beaumont Municipal Code, Section 17.02.080E, that authorizes the Planning Commission to make a recommendation to the City Council. This project is exempt from CEQA under Section 15304E. And at this time, staff recommends that the Planning Commission hold a public hearing, receive testimony, and forward a recommendation of approval to the City Council to suspend parking requirements for non-residential structures in the downtown area as shown in attachment B. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Perfect. Thank you for that report. Do we have any questions or discussion from commission up here?
So I'll jump in. I like the idea of this program. I think it's great in downtowns. You see healthy downtown, people have to get out of the car, they need to walk a little bit, patronize more business. Has the suspension of the parking been beneficial to economic development staff in bringing businesses in?
It has. It's actually helped several businesses. So, like I said, we want to explore for these existing sites that can't grow parking is being able to attract tenants. The City Council has a strong focus on the downtown and making it walkable. So, we're looking at potential of providing public parking lots. There's, been discussions about, maybe in the future doing a structure, but the city is looking at different avenues to provide kind of general parking, but again, make the downtown walkable so we get more exposure to all the businesses.
Great, thank you.
Hearing no other questions, are there any requests to speak?
So for this item, sorry, I didn't have it on your agenda guide for you, but I guess this one is a public hearing?
Yes.
Okay, so we do need to open the public hearing.
So open up the public hearing at 6:07 PM.
And I have no written requests. Mia, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers.
Okay, with that, I can close the hearing at 6:08 PM. Perfect. Can I ask for a motion from the commission here?
Yeah, I will move to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Cooley?
Yes.
Commissioner Copeland?
Yes.
Vice Chair Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Southard?
Yes. That item carries unanimously. We'll move on to item C3. This is a variance permit V 2024-0020 for lot frontage requirement variance at Fairway Canyon Meritage Tract 31462-29 and 31462-27. Can we have a staff report, please?
Yes. Sorry, one moment, going to get this presentation started. Oh, they will, okay. Okay, good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. Jillian Fountain, Planning Staff. An application for a major variance for lot frontage minimum requirement was submitted to the city on December 19th, 2024. The request stems from conditions of approval, condition 3.6 of the tentative tract map, number 31462, which states that no lots fronting on knuckles or cul-de-sacs shall have less than 35 feet of frontage. Tract 31462-27 requests for variance on lots 51, 52, 53, resulting in the frontage for each being between 29.97 linear feet and 33.32 linear feet. Tract. Is it shown? Oh, I'm not doing it. No, you're done. So that, as you can see there, 51, 52, and 53, as well as tract 31462-29, lot 33, has a frontage totaling 32.15 linear feet. A public notice was placed in the Press Enterprise on January 31st, and property owners within 300 feet were notified of this public hearing. Staff has not received written comment from the public regarding the proposed project at this time. The municipal code allows for variances to grant relief from zoning provisions because of special circumstances applicable to a property, including size, shape, topography, location, or surroundings. The subject property is zoned for Oak Valley specific plan with the general plan land use designation as single-family residential. An EIR was prepared and certified in 2001 for the Oak Valley SCPGA specific plan, with the latest addendum of the EIR being approved by City Council in 2014. The EIR and the findings made by the City Council remain pertinent and adequate for the use of this application. The Beaumont Municipal Code states that the Planning Commission is empowered to approve, conditionally approve, or deny the application. Staff is recommending that the PC conduct a public hearing and approve variance 2024-0020 and direct staff to prepare a notice of exemption for the applicant to record with the county recorder. This concludes my presentation, and if you have any questions, I am here for those, and the applicant is also here in attendance.
Perfect. Thank you. Any questions here from the commission?
Couple
Yeah.
questions. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. Is this located in an HOA, and does the HOA allow parking in the driveway? I'm a little concerned about the closeness of these lots and whether or not there's any parking.
Do you mean parking outside, off of the driveway? If they allow parking in the streets?
Do they allow parking in the driveway?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my question. If they didn't allow parking in the driveway, I'd be concerned that there isn't enough room on the street.
Yeah. Yes.
So Meritage is building in total, how many lots
For
between
this,
their maps?
this one is,
It's several hundred, right?
yes, is, I think over 300.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
out of the 300 plus lots, there's 4 that don't, and there are 3 on the end of a cul-de-sac and 1 at a corner that
Yes.
widens up. And city staff is comfortable that all utilities are able to be provided without being in conflict with driveways?
Yes, this was brought forward after the Public Works consultant did their review, noticing that this was not meeting the conditions that were set forth for their conditions of approval. So they were okay with us bringing this forward.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Any other questions from commission? Okay, hearing none, I will open the public hearing at 6:13 PM. Are there any requests to speak?
I do have an emailed comment that I can read into the record. The email is from a Tony Ratliff. It says, my name is Tony Ratliff. I am a Fairway Canyon resident and I oppose variance permit V 2024-0020. Newer neighborhoods in Fairway Canyon have very narrow streets packed with parked cars, which makes traffic flow difficult and reduces overall curb appeal. Shrinking lot frontage leads to even more cars on the street. This not only worsens congestion, but it also creates safety risks by limiting visibility for drivers and pedestrians. I encourage each of you to drive down Source Dam Drive before making a decision, so you'll see firsthand how this type of development impacts livability. Meritage Homes is financially successful company making $6.3 billion in revenue last year. There's no need for them to compromise our neighborhood standards just to maximize profits. Perhaps they should consider providing decent-sized lots instead of cramming as many homes in as possible. I urge you to reject their proposal and prioritize responsible development. Thank you, Tony Ratliff, a Fairway Canyon resident. And I can check with the phone lines. Mia, do you have any callers on the line?
No callers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You can just state your name and go ahead and speak.
Good evening, welcome.
Hi, my name is Michelle Lopez. I have been here. Can you hear me? I've been here once before, essentially about this whole thing with Meritage. So I live on Lot 1 in the D.R. Horton track at the bottom of Sorenstam, and they are building directly behind my house. And when I purchased my home I was told that I would have a partial golf course view and that nothing would ever be built behind my house. And not long after, well, almost a year later, somebody came to my door and told me that they had planned to change my view fence, which is wrought iron, to a solid vinyl fence because they are planning to put a house directly at my backyard line. And we wouldn't have bought the lot that we bought had we known that. And we were told multiple times by D.R. Horton and by Meritage that they were not going to be building there. And like the other person stated, our street is busy. We're at the bottom of a slope. Basically, we bought the land or the lot because we wanted to be able to look at our back door and not see another home. Had we bought knowing there was going to be another home there, maybe we would have made other choices. And in the last time I was here, he gave me his number and told me, reach out, we want to be good neighbors and this and that. And his only goal was to tell me, to point fingers at who told me what and when they told it. And I don't really care how many houses they build. I don't care where they build them in all that land. I just want to be able to look out my back door and not stare at the side of a house because I bought the lot that was supposed to not have a house behind it. And he never got back to me. He's not attempted to be a good neighbor or try to accommodate us in the slightest. And we've had them moving dirt, like huge, what are those, scrapers and land mover, huge tractors every day from 6:30 in the morning till 5:30 in the afternoon, Monday through Thursday for the last 4 months at least. I've noticed settling cracks in our house. I have 2 toddlers that we recently finished an adoption with. They can't nap. They can't play outside. There's smoke from the machines, which I understand it's a limited time. And we have tried to talk to them, or at least have their guys not park at our fence when they're working. Our dogs go crazy all the time. So their attempts to be good neighbors haven't been. When I do try and talk to them, they tell me, it's not my problem. Call D.R. Horton. They're your builder. So at this point, I don't think that they should be allowed any variances, and I just don't want a house right behind my house. So that's where I'm at.
Thank you for your comment. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other requests to speak, Nicole?
I have no other requests.
Then I will close the public hearing at 6:18 p.m. And I'll turn it back here to the commission for a motion or discussion.
I have a discussion. To the young lady, do you have a deed restriction that says you will never have anything built behind you?
No, I mean, D.R. Horton never guarantees because,
Okay,
yeah. So because my builder is D.R. Horton, they don't guarantee that, say that the golf course could sell and they could build something else there. Nothing's
that
guaranteed
answers
that
my
way.
question. And then,
But it's not D.R. Horton building behind me, it's
well,
Meritage.
I understand that, but you have no deed restriction that says nobody will build behind you.
No.
Okay, and then my other question is, I don't understand why narrowing a lot by 2 feet impacts the use of your lot.
At this point, I don't know that it does. I was given the notice for the hearing, and it says that it could affect me and my lot, because I am the only house that all of this building right now affects.
And I think we're talking about 2 different things. You're not opposed to these lots being narrower, you're simply opposed to anything being built behind your house. Is that correct?
Exactly.
All right, thank you. Because we're not talking about building behind your house, we're talking about whether or not these lots can be 2 feet narrower.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anything that
in the
has to
front.
do with the lots and them building, I'm going to come and spill my case every time.
Okay.
Thank you. Just clarification from staff too, these homes have been approved. This is just a variance on 4 properties or 4 units.
Yes, it's just for the 4 lots. And I was gonna pull up the photos again. I don't think these lots are the one that is directly behind her home.
Any other questions, discussion from commission?
The conditions that are on here show a tentative map approval date of 2003. Is that correct?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The conditions of approval that are attached on here, they show an approval date of 2003.
Yes.
Yes.
That's correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the lots have been planned since 2003 in this configuration.
The tract map has been approved since then.
Yeah.
Yes.
The tract map has, I believe, several dashes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the specific plan that was approved in the county of Riverside and then annexed into the city did account for development in that particular area as well.
You want to make a motion?
Given that these lots are at the end of a cul-de-sac, even if you had a 35-foot frontage with how driveways are configured, you're not going to be able to park along the curb at that point. There's not going to be any room anyway. So, understand that the concern from the caller on there about visibility, but, the narrowing at these locations is really not going to have an impact on that. So given that and, that the tentative maps date back 20 years, I'm comfortable with moving forward and recommending approval as presented.
Motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Can we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Cooley,
Yes.
Commissioner Copeland,
Yes.
Vice Chair Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Southard.
Yes. That item carries unanimously. That moves us down to item C4, Plan 2024-0145, Plan 2024-0146, Plan 2025-0147, Plan 2024-0149, Plan 2024-0150, Plan 2024-0151, Plan 2024-0152, and a review of active development agreements. Staff report, please.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. Katie Jensen, Planning Staff. Before you this evening is the Annual Development Agreements Review of 2025. All of the DAs in the City of Beaumont are subject to Resolution Number 1987-34. And this resolution sets forth the regulations and requirements for the city to enter into a development agreement. There are 7 articles listed in this resolution, and the periodic review, which is listed as Article Number 6, requires the DAs to be reviewed by the Planning Commission annually. The last time this was reviewed by Planning Commission was in March of 2021, and previous to that, March of 2020. The intent of the annual review is to determine if the property owner or the parties involved in the development agreement are complying with the terms set forth in the agreement. The city is required to notify the property owners of the annual review, as well as publish this item as a public hearing, and staff has received no comments to this date. If the commission finds the developer to be compliant, the review period is completed. If the commission finds them non-compliant, then there is a series of actions that could take place per the resolution. And if the commission cannot make a decision, then it will go to the city council for a decision. The city currently has 7 active development agreements, and of the 7, 1 DA is complete, 1 DA is not yet active, and 5 are currently in progress. I do also want to mention that Beaumont Point was not included in this review period. They are a new development agreement, and so they will be a part of the next year's DA annual review. Each of the DAs does have specific terms and conditions that were agreed to by the city and the developer. In the staff report, there is a chart that lists the developer, project associated with the DA, the start and the end date of the DA, the term of the DA, and the project status. You can also find a DA map attached that shows where in the city the DAs are located for you. Staff has reviewed all of the current development agreements and has determined that all property owners and the participants have demonstrated good faith and are in compliance. At this time, staff recommends that you hold a public hearing and determine the property owners and participants in the review development agreements are demonstrating good faith and compliance with the terms of their respective agreements. That concludes my presentation, and myself and my director are happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Thank you for the report. Do we have any questions from the commission?
One of them on here, Fairway Canyon, the expiration is coming up in about 2 years. If the home building slows and they're not completed with the project by the time the DA expires, what happens?
They could actually come back and request an extension, but that would have to go forward to city council to grant that extension.
Because we're in the final phases of the map at this point.
Right.
The tentative maps have all been approved, final maps have been recorded, and it's just getting into home building, correct? Yeah, okay. Yeah, the other ones all look like they're going to be completed before their expiration. That's the one that kind of stood out. Okay.
Just clarification, Exeter Cherry Valley, it says not active. Is this typical that they just sit for a while? Is that what's happening, or are they just not sure what they're doing?
Well, that one's interesting. So it was a specific plan that was for approximately 500 homes. And the property owners weren't able to find a developer to take on the project. So that property was sold to Exeter, who came in with the project Summit Station. That was for 2.5 million square feet of industrial and a small portion for commercial and open space. That was ultimately denied by the city council. Exeter is had done a assignment of the DA for the existing entitlements to keep that alive. In the past, they have come forward and expressed interest in doing single-family residential, but there may also be interest in bringing another project back for industrial, as we're seeing more industrial on the other side of Brookside or Cherry Valley Boulevard being developed in the county of Riverside.
Thank you.
Okay. I will open the public hearing at 6:28 p.m. Are there any requests to speak?
I have no written requests. Mia, do we have any callers on the line?
No callers.
Okay. Hearing none, we will close the public hearing at 6:28 p.m. And can I ask for a motion from the commission?
I'll make the motion as so noted.
Second.
A motion is second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Cooley,
Yes.
Commissioner Copeland,
Yes.
Vice Chair Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Southard.
Yes. All right, so that takes us to item D, planning manager comments.
All right, so there's been a couple city council meetings. So on January 21st, we did have a city council meeting, and some items of note for the planning commission is that we did request a zoning code update session with the city council, which will occur on March 13th. So again, yours is tomorrow. But we're working feverishly to get the zoning code update completed. And then city council also authorized another position for planning for an associate planner. So we're hoping to get more help on board just to help with the workload. So we hopefully will have another staff member. On January 29th, the city council held a special meeting to discuss the strategic plan. So there are things that kind of touch all departments and all things in the city. So I would encourage you to watch that if you choose to do so. On February 4th, we took forward the code amendment to remove the administrative plot plan that the Planning Commission forwarded a recommendation of approval. The City Council concurred, and the second reading is going to go next week to City Council. We also provided a general plan, the general plan annual progress report that Senior Planner Arachiga worked on, and then we did the Chapter 12 implementation section. So it's a table with responsibilities and things we need to do to help implement our 2040 general plan. So we have what's been completed, what's the status, and so the council is now aware of how we're working towards fully implementing the general plan. Another item of note is the council did appoint 2 members to attend the International Council of Shopping Centers, ICSC, in Vegas in May, and so that would be, that was identified as Mayor Laura and Councilmember Martinez. And then lastly, the city council did adopt a resolution providing a fee waiver for the Beaumont Library District expansion, which they had their groundbreaking today. It was great, even though it was raining, but they had a lot of dignitaries, so that was, it's nice seeing a project, start the next phase. Last week, Senior Planner Arachiga and myself were invited to Beaumont High School for a environmental class. And so basically the students have a project to develop a city. And so they were asking us questions. And so it was a lot of engaged youth, which, you don't see a lot of youth saying, oh, I want to be a city planner. So it was exciting, lots of great questions, and we kind of tag teamed it, trying to explain the difference between your zoning and your general plan, and it did seem to be very well received. We told them, Thaxton, who runs our wastewater treatment plant, he does a great presentation. He's a trained chemist, and so I encouraged them to potentially reach out to Councilmember Martinez and try to set that up. So, but these kids are very eager. It was great to see.
Would it be possible that maybe they want to present what some of their ideas are? Maybe a presentation at a future planning commission meeting?
Yeah, we could work on that, yeah.
I think that'd be kind of interesting to see. We'll really scare them and make them talk in public.
And up on deck, we have for City Council next week, we have the CDBG CAP survey, the 2429 going forward, the second reading for the removal of the administrative plot plan, as I mentioned, and then the annual review for the DAs. It's not required to go to council. We're just providing it as a receive and file for them so that they're kind of aware that we're looking at those items. And then for March 4th, we're looking at review of the HOP, our home occupation permits. So we'll be taking that forward, as well as a update to the plus policy. And we'll be bringing the parking waiver extension forward on that date. For Planning Commission, we have no items for February 26th, so your calendar is free that night. And then for March 12th, we have potentially Project Mustang, which is located west of Wolverine and Amazon 1. We'll have a conditional use permit for an ABC license for La Martina, right here in the corner. We'll have Aegis Apartments and potentially some tentative track maps and variances on some properties along 11th Street. And then we do have the Planning Commissioners Academy from March 5th to March 7th. So we do have Commissioner Coughlin and Commissioner Cuevas all set up to go. They'll be accompanied by myself and Senior Planner Arachiga. It's a great learning thing. So we will be bringing back information to the entire commission following that. And that concludes my update, unless you have any questions.
Perfect. And we're back here tomorrow night.
Yes, we are. For tomorrow night, I know it's a very, very large document. Staff will be available up until the city council work study. And so we know it's going to take time to digest all of that information. So if you need time with staff, please let us know. We are happy to work with you on your comments or get those to our peer review consultant, but I just want to open that up. I'll reiterate that tomorrow night, but it took, all four of us read it completely, and it took us a while. And it's, it's dry material, but it looks beautiful. I'm very excited and proud of all the work that's been put into it at this point.
Is that a staff-led effort?
Yes.
Okay. Good work then.
But it's part of our, I think it was part of the strategic, it's one of the strategic plans that the city council set. So again, we're trying to complete general plan implementations. We're working on strategic plan items for the city council. So staff is definitely engaged in bringing these things forward.
I will do my best to be here. I have a WRCOG meeting in the afternoon, so.
That-
we can make
Oh,
it
the
back up in
technical
time.
advisory?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 6 PM, right?
It is 6 PM.
Perfect. Any other questions for our planning manager? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and adjourn our meeting at 6:36 PM. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Hi, David.
Hi, how are you?